Well, I'm a native Minnesotan, of course, and I grew up in a family. On my mother's whole side of the family, they're farmers. My dad's whole side of the family work on the railroad. I'm first generation that ever went to college. And I just share that because what does that mean? When you grew up in a family where everyone is blue collar workers, even deciding to go to college is sometimes a threat to the family that you're going to become them. Because folk that grow up in blue collar families, you do grow up with kind of a me against them mentality. In the 80s, a lot of our family lost their farms to the banks. My dad was a member of the union and on the railroad, and there was union busting that was trying to go on all the time. So you do grow up with a kind of a we against them. And the them are folk that are educated. They're bankers. They're lawyers. And so that's kind of the environment I grew up in. And no one had gone to college. And I really wanted to. And so I went the kind of, I guess, easy way to get there was I went to Normandale Community College first. That didn't seem quite as threatening as saying that I really wanted to become a professional. And loved Normandale. And my eyes were opened. And to just what college does for you. You begin to see the world and take classes and listen to your professors. And it was a brand new world for me, and I was really interested. And I decided I wanted to study overseas. I'd never been overseas, and wanted to get that experience. And so I looked for scholarships because we sure didn't have any money to do that. And I ended up finding a scholarship through the United Nations that would pay for school, which is what I needed, but you had to be a junior. Well, I was just first semester. And I really wanted to go. And so I worked really hard, and I actually finished 2 years, or, finished my AA degree in about a year and a half, taking summer sessions and such. When you're motivated and really have an idea, sometimes that's the best push, and it just moves you forward. And so I was able to do that, and I ended up getting my AA degree at Normandale, and then going to the University of Sevilla in southern Spain, which that just rocked my world. There in Spain, most of the foreign students were Europeans, and there were very few Americans at that time that were foreign students. And so I got exposed not just to Spanish culture and society, but really European. And I remember there were a lot of Arabs in Spain at the time getting degrees also from European universities. And so for someone that kind of grew up in Minnesota, that was a really phenomenal experience for me. And came back, finished my degree at the University of Minnesota in Latin American Studies and Spanish, which was really my passion. But I came home, and of course, everyone said, "What are you ever going to do with Latin American Studies and Spanish?" And my family, once they realized I was going to get a degree, thought that I should either be a teacher, get an education degree, or a nurse. Neither of which I was interested in at all. And so then a lot of my family members really thought I was foolish, going overseas and all this, and for what? What kind of job are you going to get with Latin American Studies? Which I couldn't answer those questions. First of all, I didn't know anybody that had a college degree, let alone know anybody that had a Latin American Studies degree. All I knew is that I studied what I loved. And I studied what I was motivated to learn more about and curious about. And I guess that's one thing that, I've learned over my whole career. If you just keep focusing on what is in you, what draws you. Where are you curious? Where do you want to know more about it? I didn't know what job you get with a Latin American Studies degree, but I knew I loved studying the culture, the politics of Latin America fascinated me, and the social dynamics, and the Indian heritage, archaeology of Latin America. I mean, I couldn't get enough of that.